hit that field, it is 1,000 miles an hour.
Two teams that set a very high standard in high school football this year in Division I. This is the Catholic Central Shamrocks. This is Sterling Heights Stevenson. These two teams butting heads today and trying to win the state championship in Division I here in downtown Detroit at Ford Field. Sterling Heights Stevenson's Titans against the Detroit Catholic Central Shamrocks. And welcome inside Ford Field. I'm Dan Gutowski. My partner for this afternoon is John Wangler. And John, what a tremendous season for Sterling Heights Stevenson. They come in unbeaten, and they are led by a dynamite quarterback, a little bit undersized, but he plays big time.
He's done more at the quarterback position than anybody in the history of Michigan high school football, Dan. Jason Fracassa is a wonderful quarterback, great movement. He can make all the throws. He's a tremendous talent. He is the leader of that offense, and he is a dangerous, dangerous football player.
And he throws the football around, but DJ Mershman, the guy on your screen right there, catches a whole lot of passes, and he is the game changer in the passing game for Sterling Heights Stevenson, and they've been passing the ball a lot more in recent weeks. Now they are running directly into maybe the best defensive team in the state. Catholic Central Shamrocks have been steamrolling everybody all season long.
Well, their defense, the hallmark of Coach Mack's team is defense. They've won 9 championships with defense. That's where it all starts. This is a lights-out defense that has 8 shutouts, and they are strong up front. They got great linebackers who can move. Their secondary is excellent. This is going to be a real test for Sterling Heights.
Their defense doesn't get it done easily. They get it done convincingly. And again, they'll have a big challenge today. Now, what about CC's offense? It is exclusively run-oriented. They have 2 runners that really do push the football up and down the field.
Well, it's led by their big fullback, Nico Palizzetti, 6'2", 245-pound bruiser. It all starts with Nico. When they stop Nico, if they stop Nico, they got a nice outside threat in Anthony Capatina.
One guy does it inside, as you can see, the tremendous speed and power. And again, Anthony Capatina, you're right, John. He's the guy that tries to get the corner with some speed and some quickness. So they've got a very effective 1-2 combination running the football. 2 teams trying to handle each other and win a state title in Division I this afternoon. The Shamrocks and the Titans are kickoff next from downtown Detroit.
MHSAA football finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
The biggest weekend of the high school football season here at Ford Field, and there's Rick Bye, the head coach for Sterling Heights Stevenson's Titans. Here's the pregame speech from their locker room.
This year, with the leadership on this team, that you can do anything you want to do. Anything you set your mind to do, you can do it. So you know what? This is a great chance to do it. Let's do it today.
One game for a state title. And this is a showdown of 2 excellent football teams. And CC will kick the football off. Justin D'Agostino is the kickoff man for the Shamrocks, and he will put that in play as Tom Mock, again, a lot of experience on that bench as well. And there's DJ Mershman on the return. He gets into open space and tries to get towards midfield. Finally brought down there from behind And what a return to get this game started by Joe Savakis, 46 yards.
You talk about versatility. That's the way to start a state championship game. He finds a crease, makes a couple nice cuts. Look at his field vision. Almost splits those two, brings the ball out to the 50. Tremendous start here for Sterling Heights.
So they get a big spark on offense. And again, this is a pass-oriented Jason Fracassa offense. Let's see what they do on first down. He'll have time to throw, and caught, and a tackle missed there. Burham on the catch, and he'll go inside the 20 to about the 18. Stevenson getting rolling early here, John.
They did. It was just a quick out there. Nice throw on rhythm. You got to make that tackle, and he comes down the sideline. Berman, a very, very elusive runner, and unbelievable start here for Sterling Heights.
They get 32 yards, and Andrew Nelson had the possible tackle right at the catch, but could not make it. And you can see Barham with some tremendous numbers this year. And so far, so good. Stevenson goes the other way into the corner, high and too far, intended for Merschman on that far side. Here's a look at the outstanding four-year starter for this Stevenson team. Again, a pass-oriented quarterback. And again, off the field, very personable, John. He's a powder puff cheerleader.
Well, I heard he dressed up in a uniform there, Dan, and was out there leading the cheers. So you know he's got a sense of humor.
A lot of school spirit, a lot of personality, and certainly Stevenson glad to have him calling the shots and running their offense here. 2nd and 10. They're already inside the CC 20-yard line. And he'll step and throw and complete to about the 11 to James Denowith. The split end, a gain of 6 yards. And here's the skilled players that Fracassa will be looking to all day long to try to generate some points and score on this CC defense. Denowith already has one catch. Merschman is the guy that he'll likely look to a lot today. And there's the offensive line. All seniors, John, helping with pass protection for Fracassa.
It's been a big key all year long. They've given Jason time, and Jason can also buy time with his feet. It's a deadly combination.
So almost exclusively a pass-oriented offense for Stevenson. And there's a snap. Fracassa handles it, and now he'll try to roll the other way. The pursuit comes, and down he goes. Joe Snyder chased him down for a big defensive play for CC. 8 yards on the loss, and this is good pressure, John, from the weak side.
Great pressure. The snap was not great. Jason made a nice job getting that snap. And one thing that CC has not had a lot of compliments on is their pass rush. They have a great pass rush. They play pretty straight, but today they're bringing them hard. It's going to be real interesting to see if that great offensive line can slow up the CC defensive line.
So the Shamrocks tighten up on defense, and it's a field goal opportunity by David Brown. And the snap is down. The kick is up. And the kick is good. So we know one thing. There will be no shutout for Catholic Central today. And we've got a good start. The Shamrocks giving up that field goal. More first quarter from Ford Field in a moment. Welcome back to downtown Detroit here at Ford Field. Stevenson, the kickoff and the early score with that 37-yard field goal. A quick drive. They worked fast after the good kickoff return, setting things up, John.
Great field position to start. Interesting, CC played it real straight that first drive. They came up with just a four-man rush, nothing fancy. Sterling Heights was in their empty set, all four wideouts. Typical of what they've done all year, and it was really a classic drive there by Sterling Heights.
So now it's CC's turn, and again, their offense is predicated on running and ball control. That could play into their hands in terms of keeping Jason Fracassa and that Stevenson offense off the field. Let's see what they can do on their first possession. Capatina and John Savakis set to return, but there is no return. That ball almost booted out of the end zone. And David Brown showing he's got some serious leg. Here's Sam Landry. Again, very motivated by his spirituality. His older brother was a CC Shamrock player. and an Xbox loser in the Capatina household. He lost to Anthony Capatina's younger brother, Nick, a 5th grader from Our Lady of Victory. So that's the only football loss that Sam has really had this year, playing Xbox at the Capatina house.
Well, if that doesn't motivate you for a championship game, I don't know what will.
That's still getting a lot of play in the Capatina house. They run on first down, and Palisetti gets big numbers almost out to the 30-yard line. And here's the skilled players for CC's Shamrocks, but again, it's more the running game that will be featured with Capatina and Palisetti. And you see the wideouts there. The 2 seniors, though, lead that offense. And again, big hitters and experience up front on that offensive line for Detroit Catholic Central. And 2nd and short. They hand again to Palisetti. This time he bangs over that 30 for a first down. And the Shamrocks are moving the chains. Here's the Stevenson defense. They're going to be worked over quite a bit today by this offensive line. And again, boy, the seniors very, very present on this Sterling Heights Stevenson team. 1 junior in that linebacking group. And the secondary with a couple of juniors and seniors, but still a lot of experience and strength. Now they run on first down. Capatina turns it inside, tries to get outside to about the 36-yard line. A gain of 5. Tyler Messenger on the tackle for Stevenson. Again, big numbers for Anthony Capatina as he compliments Palisetti very, very well.
As we mentioned in the open, they really have Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside. Capatina, both 1,000-yard backs. Capatina is the change-up back. He's tough, he's elusive. He's the guy you're going to see go outside coming out of that I formation.
And 2nd and about 6, and there's a hole that did not open for Nico Palisetti, and he gets put down after a very short game. Kenny Williams in on the tackle. And you get the problem for Stevenson really is a matter of just maintaining your energy, and these are going to be long drives. If Catholic Central controls the football, that defense is going to be on the field a long time, and that's taxing.
Right, and that's what Catholic Central does. They want to wear you down for that 3rd and 4th quarter. So far, Stevenson's done a nice job. They're coming out of their 4-3 defense. They got their corners up. It's almost a 6-2. They're really daring them to throw the football.
So 3rd and 2. And they go right to Palisetti, who bangs over that right side. Another Shamrock first down, 4 yards.
That's just basic football. Coming right behind that right side, just an ISO. You got a lead back there, Capatina. Look at Palisetti lowering his shoulders, scrounging for that extra yard, driving, dragging tacklers down to pick up a first down.
You see him put that left arm out there to kind of just make sure he's got a little bit more space with his blockers and whatnot. He is a very skilled tailback for this Shamrocks team. As you see Tom Mack. And here's Capatina running wide. He gets drilled and barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. David Brown comes in after a 1-yard gain.
Well, Brown can kick it and he can tackle. He came up nice. Catholic Central that time just ran a simple buck play, trying to bring Capatina off the edge there. Brown, nice job coming up from his corner position.
So 2nd and long coming right now as the Shamrocks try to push their way towards midfield. On their opening drive, Stevenson's field goal was set up with a very good kickoff return to start this football game. And that's where we're at as we hit the midway point of our first quarter here in the Division I Finals. And now a little trickery as they run far side. There's Butch Herzog. Now they toss. Landry's got it. Almost gets up to the first down. About a yard short. Charlie Walker on the stop. Little creativity from CC.
That's about as fancy as you're going to get. All they did, it's the first time they came in with a receiver reverse. Watch him hand it off now. Palisetti coming down, switches it out there. Landry battling there to pick up the first down. That was a receiver reverse, wasn't Palisetti. They brought the receiver in there. Nice job. That was set up perfectly.
So they get the ball inside Stevenson territory. And the Titans, again, they've been on the field a while, and if CC has their way, it's going to be a little bit longer. This is 3rd and short. And they hand off. Palisetti bangs it over. Still on his feet down to about the 40-yard line. Messinger on the tackle, but man, he is a big load And so far, he has been effective for CC.
One thing about Palizzetti, he always is moving the chains, and he always seems to come out the other end of the pile. We saw him play against Canton. He did the same thing, lowering his shoulder, fighting for that extra yard. Watch him come out the other end of that pile, getting an extra 3 or 4 yards just on extra effort.
A lot of guys would go down, not Nico Palizzetti, just kept pushing and picking up extra yardage for CC. They set up at the Titans' 40-yard line on this first down run. Palizzetti on the run, still on his feet, inside the 25. And I'll tell you, there is a big challenge for this Titan defense right now to figure out how to slow him down. He shakes off tacklers with a tremendous intensity.
What's impressive, you watch Palizzetti make these shallow cuts right in here. He makes a shallow cut. Great move right there. Nifty move for a big guy at 245 pounds. That's exactly what a running back has to do. Those short, shallow cuts, picking up that extra yardage.
And Nick Bolig, a tremendous block as they toss. Here's Capatina getting outside to the 10, inside, and just brought down at the 5-yard line. Anthony Capatina almost twisted his way out of that jam. DJ Merschman finally made the tackle, but not before Capatina got the Shamrocks to the 5-yard line.
Well, you can pick your poison. This time, just a toss sweep. They got their 2 running backs leading on the left edge. They lock in the corner. Capatina make a nice cut there, almost gets to the end zone. They've run the ISO 8 times in this drive. That time they come back with a toss sweep with the 2 lead backs. Just simple, basic Catholic Central football.
The Shamrocks on the move. First and goal at the 5. Landry the handoff to Palizzetti, who pushes his way down to about the 2. And Kyle Kimball helping on the tackle, along with Tyler Messinger. And this is a big test now for this Stevenson defense. And this is just business as usual, John, for the Shamrocks of Detroit Catholic Central.
That offensive line, Dan, is getting great push against the defensive line of Sterling Heights. They're coming out low. They're moving them off the ball, allowing those guys to pick up that yardage.
And there's Capatina in the end zone. The Shamrocks on the board with a touchdown of a couple yards out. Anthony Capatina scoring to get the Shamrocks in the lead.
Here they are, just out of a straight dead tee. Capatina following his big boys into the end zone. Great hole opened up by that right side of the offensive line.
And in fairness to that Titans defense, they have to respect Palizzetti so much that if there's a good ball fake to him inside, that sucks that defense in, and that's where Capatina can get outside and get in the end zone on that one.
That's what makes it so difficult.
The point after is good, and the Shamrocks taking the first quarter lead away from the Stevenson Titans. More first quarter after this. CC's Shamrocks and Tom Mack, they're pretty happy now, and here's the scoring drive capped off by Capatina. A 2-yard touchdown run. Nothing unexpected about what we've seen so far from CC, John.
Been pretty straight. I got to give credit to big number 63, Joe Snyder. Did a nice job. He and Palizzetti really led Capatina into the end zone, escorted them in.
Corey Smith will handle the kickoff here for Catholic Central. And there is no shutout today for this Shamrock team, but they know the ultimate prize is the state championship. And here's a short squib kick caught at the 36. And Dylan Cooper is the one who catches it, but obviously no return. Here's the Taco Bell road to the finals. How these teams got here. Again, CC just kind of hammering their way, but through the brackets. But Stevenson had the close call in their semifinal game over Clarkston. But hey, getting here is doesn't matter how you do it. You just got to figure out how to punch your ticket. And the Titans are here to compete for a state title in Division I. Fracassa with an empty backfield now for Stevenson's Titans. Time to throw, and he'll zip that ball right on target And a completion to Mershman in the middle. Short of a first down, but a well-thrown ball.
Great touch there by Jason Fracassa. They were in a two-deep zone. He showed a lot of patience. He drilled that in there right through a picket fence. Look at that. Oh, tremendous catch there by Mershman.
Well,
actually, it was good defense.
Dropped it. It was so good. It was incomplete. John Savakis was the one who got a hand in there late, but still a well-thrown ball. So 2nd and 10. Fracassa with time to throw deep down that far sideline and over the head of DJ Mershman. Led him a little bit too far, but man, that is a seriously strong arm. If you haven't seen Jason Fracassa throw, you've got to like that arm.
One of the things you can tell about Jason, obviously he's got a great arm, but he can make all the throws, Dan. He's got touch. He can drill the one as you saw the play before. He can air it out. That's what makes him so dangerous, is his ability to make all the different passes on the football field.
So 3rd and 10 coming now for the Titans after those 2 incompletions. And Stevenson's going to have to be careful because ball control is going to be critical given how the time of possession that CC has already had. Time to throw in the middle, a deep ball, and it is knocked down at the last second. Butch Herzog was the one who slapped it down, and Mershman was the target, but an incomplete pass, and Stevenson sends out their punting unit.
Well, Herzog's a great linebacker. They're playing a 2 deep with a man under. Herzog made a nice drop. He read his eyes perfectly. Great break on the ball. Textbook linebacker play. Fantastic play by Herzog.
John Savakis is standing at his own 25-yard line. Mike Pozzoli is the punter for the Titans. And a high snap. Boy, that was dangerous. He'll get a good punt off regardless. And the catch at the 31-yard line. And a tackle after a return of about 9 yards. Savakis gets to almost the 40. And Dylan Cooper on the stop for the Shamrock, for the Titans.
CC is really daring Sterling Heights to run. They've only had one set today where they've had a back in the backfield. They're dropping. They have 4 or 5 defensive backs out there, really daring them to throw or run the football.
Now for Stevenson, an aggressive offense, obviously in terms of passing, but maybe they've got to scale it down a little bit, throw the ball a little bit shorter to control the ball and get some first downs, because they just cannot have CC's offense on the field like this. And here's the run on first down. Capatina shaking it outside and brought down. He had one man to beat, but a good tackle for about 5 yards on first down. Mark Kovalchuk on the stop for the Titans.
Shows you the feet that Capatina has. Look at that move. The great thing about a running back, you got to make at least the first guy miss. And Capatina has that kind of footwork. Real good job. Great start to a drive. He's very, very elusive. What he's worked on over the years, he's gotten stronger as a running back. When he first started as a sophomore, he was more of an elusive type guy. Now he has the power to go with his elusiveness.
He can challenge guys straight up. And again, that's a huge component of this Shamrock offense. And now Capatina running inside, pushing towards midfield. The pile moves into Titans territory for another Catholic Central first down. A big pile. Demetrius Hurd, one of a host of tacklers.
Isolation again. Watch Capatina keeping those legs pumping, leaning forward, driving. That's all that work in the weight room pays off, where you just keep pushing and pushing, fighting for that extra yard. He's done a great job all year in that type of a run. Boy,
we talk about Palizzetti carrying the pile, but boy, Capatina, he can carry the load by himself. Inside Titans territory at the 47. And here's Capatina again. Stays on his feet. Down to the 40. Almost spins out of it. Inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And a tremendous block by Enzo Stante.
Those linebackers for Sterling Heights have to be real careful, because they're starting to over-pursue a little bit, and they're starting to run past the play. That time was just a basic buck to the short side of the field. Catholic Central has been running strong side all afternoon. They came back to the short side with some success.
They're going to measure for the possible Shamrock first down. And based on where the ball's at, that sure looks like a first down, but the officials got to earn their keep too, so we'll let them do their jobs.
Well, the defense here for the Sterling Heights Stevenson is going to get a much-needed little break because they've been on the field a lot this quarter. They're going to be on the field a lot during this game, and they'll take any break they can get here.
And the chain comes out, and you can see that that is just far enough for a Shamrock first down. And at some point, John, there is pressure now on this Stevenson Titans defense to get the Shamrocks off the field.
Well, and it's really a two-edged sword because their offense is so explosive and it's scored so quickly against a team like Catholic Central. If you keep giving the ball back to those guys, and they have those 5, 6, 7, 8-minute drives, it puts a lot of pressure on that defense.
And again, Sterling Heights Stevenson got the opening kick and a field goal, but the Shamrocks have been handling things since, and Palazetti stays on his feet, pounding inside the 35 to about the 33. David Brown and Mark Kovalchik on the tackle. And again, one team is passing, one team is throwing, or one team is running, one team is passing. And the numbers tell you that the offensive philosophies of these two teams are completely diverse.
Well, I mean, the perfect contrast of styles and the success CC has. They don't have to throw the football the way they run it.
So they line up with 3 in the backfield on 2nd and 6. Long count. There's Capatina waiting for his blockers. Now 2 tacklers and a fumble, and recovered by the Shamrocks. Maybe the best defensive chance for the Stevenson Titans. They lose 1 yard, but that loose ball.
Just a little crossbuck coming off the right side. You can see they got an arm in there. You rip the ball loose. Very fortunate for Catholic Central if they came up with that. But that was Walker ripping that ball loose. Nice job.
Matt Donath on the recovery for CC. Took a bounce right into his breadbasket. And now a 3rd and 6. So a 3rd down opportunity for the Shamrocks. They're going to throw on the run, and it is caught for a first down, complete to Mike Kenville, the tight end. The passing game looks okay on that throw. 11 yards and a Shamrock first down.
Well, Landry's been effective all year long with a little crossbuck, a little bootleg. You drag the tight end across right there. He's wide open. They're so afraid of that run. That tight end coming across, sneaking across the middle is very effective. He's done that all season long with some big passes coming across to his big tight end.
David Brown on the tackle, but the damage was done after the catch for the Shamrocks. And again, Catholic Central with the upper hand now as we move to the last minute of our first quarter. And a handoff, and Palazetti can't get through that hole, or at least can't stay on his feet after the first hit at the line of scrimmage.
Landry was fortunate to get that handoff off. It looked like the center stepped on his foot and he was coming out. He did a nice job making sure he got that handoff.
So they spot the ball at the 22-yard line of Stevenson. And we may have one more play in this first quarter, or maybe not. The Shamrocks don't look to be pushing it too quickly. And we will have one more play. A little bit of a reverse. Here's Herzog running inside the 20, brought down inside the 15 by Charlie Walker. And so our first quarter in the D1 championship game is in the books. The Shamrocks handling the Stevenson Titans. A 7-3 score. Our second quarter is next. That's Rick Bye, the head coach for Sterling Heights Stevenson. Not a comfortable position with the Shamrocks marching down the field. Capatina running this time into a big wall of white jerseys, and he doesn't get anything. John Sulik, one of a host of Titan tacklers, along with Kyle Kimball and Kenny Williams and pretty much anybody else that was out there.
That was the first time, Dan, that they switched up their defense. They had been kind of a 6-3. They went to a 5-5 that time, more of a goal line type look to try to shut them down inside.
You know, you look at this game and say, well, you know what? Stevenson's got a big play offense. They're throwing the football. Being down a couple of scores wouldn't be a big deal. The problem is that offense is not going to get on the field. And if the Shamrocks keep running as well as they have, there's the big problem right now for that offense. And here's Capatina, a big burst of speed inside the 5. He almost had the end zone.
Just a straight isolation that time. They came against that 5-5, just an ISO. You watch right in here. Here they come. They got motion right off that fullback. Great hole opened up there.
How about Capatina making Eugene Pratt miss? Barely got a hand on him. What a blow-by run there, and look at that, almost 6 yards a crack.
Well, and they're going behind big Joe Snyder again. They got Palizzetti leading, and Joe Snyder opening that hole.
And they line up just inside the 5. And the Shamrocks on the doorstep again. And here's Palizzetti. He'll bang down to the goal line and get denied just shy. They'll give him 3 yards. Mason Hennigy on the tackle.
Here it is, isolation to the left side. Very close, fighting for that yard. That's the way to keep him out of the end zone. You got to take 2 or 3 guys to stop Palizzetti.
And then Nico got tripped up at the line of scrimmage, but still was able to squeeze a couple more yards. And they're at the half-yard line here on 2nd and goal.
I don't think there's any secret of who they're probably going to give the football to.
Landry will hand off, and Palizzetti crashes over the left side, and the Shamrocks in the end zone again early in our 2nd quarter.
Straight power football. You give it to your bread and butter guy, coming right off that left side. They've been working the right side. This time they come off the right side. Just an isolation. He was getting hit, just banged right through.
You know, you look at a kid like that and you go, does he really need the shoulder pads? I mean, he looks huge already. And then the pads on, that's almost an unfair advantage. As the point after goes through, and CC's Shamrocks in control on the ground and on the scoreboard here in the Division I Finals at Ford Field. Welcome back to downtown Detroit. Catholic Central doing what they have wanted to do all season long, running the football. And there's the drive that puts them up 14-3 here early in our 2nd quarter. Corey Smith is handling kickoff duties this time around for CC. And another short kick. Caught at the 25, and a little bit of room to run, but not a lot of speed there from Michael Mazinski. Would you like to be so close to the action that you see the players sweat? So close you can hear them call the next play? Well, you can. There's always a need for new high school officials in all sports. A great way to get back in the game, give back to the game, and be a part of our young people's educational experience. Getting involved is easy. Go online to register at MHSAA.com. And here's Fracassa. And they'll throw and go incomplete. Not sure who the intended receiver was. Marcus Barham or Mike Kirksey. He threw it too high for one, too low for the other, John.
Over to the right here. He had 2 guys, one running an in route, the other one doing a little wheel. They ended up being too close together, and one guy was able to cover both. And it was, it looked like there was a little confusion out there.
And there's Jason's numbers on the afternoon. They're going to have to get better, John, in order for this Titans team to get back in this football game.
Again, they have to be able to run the football and take some time off this clock.
Fracassa, a deep throw. That one is knocked away. And Mike Kinville was the one who got a hand on it. Again, a deep ball downfield, but the Shamrocks, their pass defense has been up to it up to now.
Second time Kinville's got a hand on the ball. He's doing a nice job dropping back into that coverage.
And again, look at those monster numbers for his career. And the passing totals don't get much better than that, but all he's interested in is putting up some bigger numbers this afternoon against CC's Shamrock defense. And a big 3rd and 10. And this is familiar territory for the Titans on offense. Fracassa with time to throw. There's a deep ball, and there's a catch at about the 45-yard line. And Justice Wright, who does not get a lot of touches in that Titans passing game. There's your first big play on offense by Fracassa for 27 yards.
This is the first time they've been able to split that two-deep zone. Behind the linebackers, in front of the two safeties who are on the hashes. Nice job, great touch there. Wright did a good job pulling that football in.
So there's a spark now for the Titans on offense. And Fracassa taking the Titans into Shamrock territory for the second time in this football game. And he'll wind up and throw a tight ball near side for Rob Marshall. That's complete. A little underneath route.
Those are more of the routes that we thought we'd see. We talked to Coach By this week, and what he was talking about, they were going to dink and doink a little bit, try and find the seams. They did not want to get into a street fight with Catholic Central, and so far that's kind of what this has been. They can't get in there and slug it out. They got to possess the ball. Even if they possess it throwing the football, they need to take some time off the clock.
Tom Mack, the head coach for CC. Again, there's about 70 years coaching experience between these two coaches. And here's Kirksey on the run. And he gets to about the 25-yard line, tackled by Ben Diaz.
That was the first run that we've seen, Ben.
So again, the Titans have to get a little bit more creative on offense now.
Just a little sprint draw there by Kirksey, doing a nice job picking his way through. They got everybody dropping. Nice job with a little draw.
They lost a lot of their running game due to injuries not long ago. And as Rick By told us, we were going to have to throw against Catholic Central anyway, no matter what. So our running game wasn't that important. But now they'll throw here and wind up in a deep ball, incomplete. Looking for Justice Wright. I think he had some space, but not a well-thrown ball.
He did. He threw it behind him. He thought he was heading more towards the sideline.
And we wondered when pressure might come.
Yeah, that was...
There's Joe Snyder.
CC's been bringing it all day. That's the first time somebody's been able to get home to Jason, and he took a nice hit there after he released the football.
So again, very pass-heavy. But certainly the Titans are still trying to hang around in this football game, but really they have to get points on almost every drive the way CC's offense is going. Fracassa time, and he'll throw short. That's complete, but incomplete. He dropped it. Kirksey, the intended receiver. Butch Herzog put a lick on him, and Kirksey is slow to get up on that far side of the field.
Well, you can see that cast on Kirksey's right hand. That time he was their swing receiver. He was really their outlet pass, and Herzog did a nice job. The great thing and tough thing to play against Catholic Central, they're so assignment football driven. They're very well coached. They play their role. They know exactly what they're supposed to do. That was, again, Herzog reading that play, doing exactly what he was supposed to do.
So Fracassa and the Titans on third down, not perfect, and they're going to have to improve on that number. Here's a big 3rd and 10, and they'll toss back to Fracassa, who will line up for a deep throw down the side in the end zone, and a flag, and the pass is incomplete, and probably some sort of interference in the end zone. Brutus, the defensive back, Marcus Burham, the intended receiver.
A little razzle-dazzle here by Sterling Heights Stevenson. Very fortunate for them that they were able to come up with an interference, because here it is. The fake, it's a pitch back, and then they swing it out to Fracassa, who tries to get the ball in the end zone there.
Defensive pass interference. Automatic first down.
It was pretty well played there. They just got a hand in there. That's why they called it interference. Very close. Actually, he was covered well. Fortunate break for Stevenson.
Boy, Fracassa really put a lot of zip on that throw, and a break for the Titans. They get the automatic first down and move the football to the Shamrock 13-yard line.
Well, Fracassa took a hit after he threw that ball, too, so they're starting to get home. The interesting thing is they haven't blitzed one time. They're getting home with their front four. They're playing two deep coverage, pressing with their front four.
Fracassa, we'll see if he runs now. He'll move out of the pocket, stop, and get swarmed and knocked down. Brandon Tamaro makes a big play happen. You can see it seems like Fracassa is a little bit reluctant to run. They lose 4 yards.
That defensive line, watch Tamaro. They're coming off the edge. The bottom of your screen, there he is. He's pursuing. Fracassa tries to make a move. Great pursuit. Those guys, again, are keeping him inside. They want Fracassa to throw the football. They don't want him to get outside where he has the option to run or pass. They're doing a nice job containing him with just that front four.
That's the second Catholic Central sack on defense in this football game. And again, they have not brought a ton of pressure, but they are starting to kind of figure things out. Fracassa will have time on this one. He'll throw deep in the middle. That one's incomplete, intended for Barham. And Justin D'Agostino on the coverage there to make that one go incomplete.
Try to crossing route. He had plenty of time. That time, D'Agostino, nice job. Great defensive play, getting that inside arm in there and knocking that football down.
Justin right on his back, step for step on that coverage.
One of the weaknesses of Catholic Central defense for an offense like this would be a quarterback draw or a scramble. So you may want to see, he may be looking to see if Jason drop him back and then run him right up the gut.
Third and big time yardage now for Jason Fracassa and the Titans on offense. Little bit of pressure. He's got time and he'll throw in the end zone, incomplete. Receiver looking for a flag. Rob Marshall was downfield looking for that pass, but Savakis was on good coverage there, and that ball will hit the turf harmlessly for the Shamrocks.
Fracassa had plenty of time. That coverage has been excellent for Catholic Central. Savakis right there making it a tough throw. There's really no way to get that ball in there.
So now it's an opportunity for a field goal. And so far, that's been the only offense in terms of point production. David Brown will try to get the Titans another field goal. This one is from 34. The early kick was from 37. So this is in his range, and this kick is up, and this kick is no good. And so the Titans come away with no points. A time-consuming drive that ends up with nothing on the board for Stevenson.
Ryan, that's one of the things. They do not want to trade field goals for touchdowns with Catholic Central, and they have to come. The pressure that Catholic Central's offense puts on Stevenson is that they have to come away with points on each drive, and they have to be more than field goals. And that's where it's going to be difficult. They have to take time off the clock. They got to get in the end zone.
So now CC has got the Titans right where they want them. They've got their offense on the field, and you can see that they are just gobbling up a whole lot of game clock here in this Division I state championship game. And there's a handoff to Palizzetti, and looks like he lost the handle just a bit after a modest gain, maybe 1 yard. Kyle Kimball, the defensive end, making the tackle.
Stevenson has adjusted their defense, Dan. They're going to a 5-man front now with 5 linebackers really and one free safety. They're coming up. They want to put more pressure on these guys when they're running football.
So they give him 2 yards on that first down run. And they mark it at the 22-yard line for Sam Landry. And there's Palizzetti again. This time they'll push out to about the 25. 3-yard gain. Charlie Walker on the stop. Well, I got to be honest, it is a little bit more exciting to watch the Titans on offense than it is to watch the Shamrocks on offense.
Well, yeah, they...
but that's nitpicking, right?
Well, it depends on what kind of football you appreciate, Dan.
I appreciate both, but...
Yeah, no, they're basic, and they're going to come at you, and they're going to wear you down. They've been doing this for 30 years, to produce 9 state championships, and the great teams they've had over the past. This formula is tried and true, and they're going to go with it.
And they've got a third down now, 3rd and 5 at their own 25. Capitina will hand off, and there's a defensive stop. A flag on the play, though. That might be a horse collar. And CC with Justin Messner. He carried the ball. They lose 5, but we got to find out what that flag is.
Just a wingback reverse here. It looks like a face mask.
Tough break. Kyle Kimball is the one who is called for the infraction, and you know he's upset there knowing that he had made a big play and didn't need the face mask to make the stop.
Well, his hand just kind of slipped off on the Messner's helmet. That was really their best defensive stand all year, or all day so far. They went to a 4-6 type defense, and that was good. Unfortunately for them, they had a penalty.
So new life for the Shamrocks, and the penalty takes the football to the 37-yard line. And that football will stay with the Shamrocks here with 5 minutes left in our first half. And Campatina stopping and starting and now getting into some space at midfield. Finally brought down at the Titans' 45-yard line. 18 yards on the Campatina run. Tyler Messagee making a tackle. But a flag, and we got to see where the infraction happened, right near the tackle.
Personal foul, horse collar on the defense. First down.
Those are two backbreakers. Here's just a little power sweep to the tailback. Campatina making another great shallow cut, keeping his arm down, moving forward. Here's where they got him.
Anthony got that left arm up. That's a good stiff arm, and he'll take a little bit more abuse to try to end his football career as a Shamrock with some state title bragging rights. And the clock stops, and the Shamrocks making things happen. Those two penalties for Stevenson, both on this drive, when really they might have the football back already.
Very unfortunate for Stevenson's defense.
So the Shamrocks in business at the Stevenson 30. And a play fake, and Landry will roll out, and he'll throw deep in the end zone, and a little bit of contact. Not enough for a flag. Andrew Nelson, the intended receiver. DJ Mershman, pretty good coverage. And John, that was a pretty good throw by Landry.
It was. Landry's an underrated thrower. He makes some key passes all season to keep drives alive. That time they just ran a bootleg. He got on the move and actually had the one-on-one coverage.
And Landry held on to that football, and a lot of things that happen after the throw. Look at that hit.
He's a tough kid.
Mason Hennigy coming in there to lay one on Sam Landry.
Nice job with contain there by Hennigy.
So the Shamrocks line up again, 2nd and 10. And there's Palazetti on the handoff. John Sulik on the stop. And if the Shamrocks have their way, there will be no clock for the Titans to work with on offense in this first half.
The best defense is keeping Fracassa on the sidelines, and they're doing a great job of it so far. That time Catholic Central went with a little trap, inside trap to Palazetti. They've been running power football and bellies. That time they came in with a nice little trap, picked up some good yardage.
So 3rd and 7 coming up now for Catholic Central. Again, this is the best defensive series right now going for the Titans, but the two penalties have kept the Shamrocks on the field with the football.
Watch for a little bootleg with Landry again.
Let's see what they run here on 3rd and long. Landry selling the fake, and he'll throw deep to the near side in the end zone. It is incomplete. They had Messner open, and he could not hang on to it.
Very close. Great call there. Again, they went back to their bootleg. Landry doing a nice job ball faking in there, rolling out. He's a lefty. He lays it out there in the corner of the end zone. It looks like it's very close. I know Messner wants that one back.
That would have been a tough catch.
A little behind him, but he made a great effort.
And now the Shamrocks make the decision to line up for a field goal. And Justin D'Agostino will try the field goal. This one's a long one, a 44-yarder. This is well without his reach, and this one's blocked. And it is a no-point drive for Catholic Central. So the Shamrocks generate no points, and that gives the Titans something to cheer about here at Ford Field in the D1 Finals. Welcome back to Ford Field. Tom Mack, the CC head coach, knew exactly what his defense was up against today.
It presents a different problem than we've had so far this year. You know, the number of times that they throw and the situations that they put your defense in. So we're going to have to play sound coverage and try to put a little bit of pressure on them, and hopefully that we can force them into a few mistakes here and there. And just basically overall, we're going to play our defense that got us here, and we think that possibly that might be the trick.
So far, so good, I guess, John, for this Shamrock defense. Let's see what the Fracassa offense can do here. Here comes 2 rushers, and down Fracassa goes.
Well, it's interesting. You heard what he said, and basically they're playing their defense, and they're coming at them with 4 guys up front and playing good coverage. And all they're doing, that time they came in inside, a little twist game with the tackles and ends. Came right on, and he was lucky for Jason. He ducked underneath that, but they're digging themselves a tough hole to come out of right now.
That's an 11-yard loss. Tamaro and Joe Snyder working in tandem on that sack. It's the 3rd sack by the Shamrocks defense today. And Fracassa looking at a second and a bunch. Now he'll throw a deep ball downfield in the middle, almost picked off. And CC's defense, Tom Boutsos, was right there with the pass intended for DJ Merschman.
Well, they have those 2 safeties sitting on the hashes there, and they're running some posts underneath the safeties behind the linebackers, and that time they didn't move at all. It's tough when you're not getting any movement and they're just sitting back there playing center field.
All right, this play is huge now for the Titans on offense. They do not want to give the Shamrocks the football back with time and field position in this second quarter. So 3rd and a whole bunch. Fracassa will throw it, and it is complete, but short of the first down to DJ Merschman. Not enough yardage after the catch. And Fracassa will head off, and the punting unit comes on for Stevenson.
This is not what Sterling Heights was looking for. Very crucial for them to come away with some kind of points on this drive. Unfortunately, you know, their backs are against the wall. They're going to have to punt this thing out and stop them.
They got 14 yards on the catch. He was 7 yards short of a first down. Joseph is set to return for the Shamrocks, standing at his own 40-yard line. So they need a big punt here from Mike Pizzulli. And the pressure comes. The kick is blocked. And covered at the 12-yard line by CC. Anthony Selling and Scott Byrne were the 2 that came in to put that baby down.
Came right off the edge here. Selling and Byrne.
Oh, man.
Boy, it looked like a team meeting back there.
That's 2 too many in the backfield. And the Shamrocks just got a whole lot better in terms of field position. Always looking for something extra. Now the special teams delivers for Catholic Central. And they mark the ball at the 14. And there's the handoff. Capatina waiting for his blockers, but nothing develops there. So he'll go down after the Charlie Walker tackle, 1 yard.
That was the first time we saw that power I formation where they put that wing back in a Rip or Liz formation. They just fouled with an isolation. Nothing fancy down in here. They're just going to pound it home.
And there's the special teams hero right now for CC, Anthony Sealing, the senior, who plays both tight end and defensive end. Look at those numbers. 2 teams that take care of the football in 2 opposite ways. Here's a play fake and a run in, and Landry stays on his feet inside the 5.
Landry did a great job ball faking on this one. Out of a dead tee, here's Landry hiding it right there. Watch him keep that football, make a nice cut, almost get into the end zone, lower his shoulders, right there on his back hip. Here we go. Take a look. Nice cut. That's been one of his strengths all year, is his ability to play fake and ball handle and really manage that offense and move the chains, pick up big first downs. Not real flashy, but very, very effective.
So they're inside the 5 at the 4, and still a minute and change on the second quarter game clock here in the Division I Finals at Ford Field. And there's Palizzetti pounding his way down to the 1. He tries to stretch over for the touchdown, and the Shamrocks are trying to sway the officials, but that never works.
You talk about coming out the other end of the pile. Watch Big Palizzetti here. Fighting and fighting and fighting here. Almost. He never quits. He'll get another chance, trust me.
And the other thing is that bodes well for Catholic Central. They will get the football to start the second half. There's the handoff, and Palizzetti in the end zone. The Shamrocks strike again.
That's power football. They're definitely winning the battle up front. That offensive line is moving them. They're hitting them low. And then you got the big guy behind them just following right in. There it is.
Palizzetti. You know, he got airborne just for fun on that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, he got a little excited about jumping in the end zone. You got to love to see that emotion.
Nico Palizzetti capping the drive after the special teams big play by Catholic Central, and they are inflicting their will on Sterling Heights Stevenson. Our school profiles presented by Farmers Insurance and Catholic Central Shamrocks. Again, there's a lot of schools that lay claim to being a Catholic Central, but there's Detroit CC, a 10-time state champion. The tradition and the history certainly on their side this afternoon, and 14,000 graduates. They just have educated a whole lot of kids in that Metro Detroit area. And a flashback to not one state championship, not 2 state championships, but 3 straight championships. This is against Utica Eisenhower in 2001. The next year they come back for more, and another big state title win. And Hardware goes up again. They weren't finished though. The trifecta in 2003. 3 straight years, John. That is just unprecedented in the Michigan high school football. All at the Pontiac Silverdome, and all under the watchful eyes of head coach Tom Mack.
One of the true legends of Michigan high school coaching football. Great coach, Coach Mack.
A low kick. Let's see what the Titans do for a return. And here's Merschman, who gets wrapped up. Now he gets out of some traffic and gets to the 25. He's fighting hard, lost a helmet. And they give him 18 yards on the return. So I think he worked on his hair in the last few weeks. You don't see that kind of platinum blonde too often.
It was an interesting color he was sporting today.
So not much time for the Titans to work with on offense. But they're going to have work to do when our second half gets revved up here. And there's a throw to that sideline and a catch for first down to Merschman on the grab. And Fracasse's throw complete for 11 yards. And they stop the clock with 12 seconds left. So a lot of guys going with that platinum blonde look on that Stevenson sideline.
A lot of peroxide being sold out there in Sterling Heights.
So now it's, well, they look good. Now they just got to play a little better in our second half as our first half of football comes to a close here at Ford Field. And the passing game of Sterling Heights Stevenson not as good as the running game for Detroit Catholic Central Shamrocks.
Here it is, Big Palizzetti. They're just pounding textbook Catholic Central football.
He picks his way through the secondary there, and Palizzetti with 2 rushing touchdowns in our first half of football. Look at him just put his head down and barrel in. There's touchdown number 1, and there's our second touchdown. Let's head down to the sidelines. Tom Mack, the head coach for Catholic Central Shamrocks. Tom, I guess you knew what your game plan was coming in. How relieved are you that your game plan has worked as well as it has in the first half?
Well, it's always a big relief because you never really know how you're going to handle people until you play them. I think we did an adequate job, and I think we have to continue to do that in the second half.
Coach John Wangler, you worried at all about running Palizzetti second half as much as he's carried the ball the first half? Will he have enough for the second half?
Nico is a great fullback and a great athlete, and we never worry about this. This is a state championship game. We're going to run him as much as we have to.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom. Good luck in the second half of this game.
Thank you very much.
Tom Mack will go talk to his football team, and the Shamrocks poised for a state title. The Titans have to get a little bit more offense in our second half. We're back to Ford Field after this. We are here at Ford Field as we are at the midway point of our Division I final. Sterling Heights Stevenson unbeaten, but they're going to have their hands full in that second half with the Catholic Central Shamrocks. Along with John Wangler, I'm Dan Gutowski, and we got exactly what we expected in the first half of football, but really it was more CC's running game that was dominant as opposed to the Titans' passing game.
They did exactly what we expected, Dan. They came out, they pounded the football with the big boy. The changeup was Capatina on the outside. They just ran straight at him. There was nothing fancy.
Now, Stevenson had the first crack in this football game, and they made the most of it as we take a look at our first half highlight package.
Well, you got Merschman starting this game off with a tremendous return, giving them excellent field position. Great start for him. That time Fracassa had a nice swing pass there, coming down the sideline. Great play to put him in good position for scoring.
They end up getting a field goal here on their opening drive. So a little bit of a victory for the Shamrocks on defense. And then it was CC's running game, John, that was just dominant.
Well, when you got Palazzola coming off tackle, they did a little razzle-dazzle here to Landry to pick up the first down. Again, the big boy just pounding the inside, keeping his feet moving, getting the extra yards, and then the change-up with Capatina. It's been a deadly 1-2 punch.
So Capatina, that touchdown in the first quarter, and then it was more Capatina in the second quarter. He just continues to find space and explode through it. Palizzetti breaking the end zone there, and here's Capatina working it again, this time outside. Again, that running game just continued to beat down on the Titans on defense. Palizzetti, there's his final touchdown of the first half. And again, the Shamrocks are in control because their ground game is in control.
It really is. And what it's doing, Dan, is keeping their offense off the field. Fracassa's not on the field, and when they are, they're giving them a long field to try and score. It's been very difficult for Sterling Heights. Other than that first drive when they had great field position, their backs have been up against the wall.
John, we knew Stevenson would have to pass well in this football game. How do they modify their passing attack to try to generate some points?
I'm a little surprised they're going as deep as they are. They're just facing a too-deep zone. When we talked with Coach before the game, I thought they were going to go a little shorter, dink and doink, try to possess the ball with their passing game. They've actually gone a little further down the field than I would have thought, so they may want to modify that the second half.
Stevenson tweaking their defense as well in the second quarter, but right now they've got to get more points on the board to compete in this Division I final. We're coming back with some halftime numbers as the bands take center stage, but football is coming up as we continue here from Ford Field. Welcome back to Ford Field. Rick Bye is the head coach of Sterling Heights Stevenson. The scoreboard is not what you want, Rick, but let's talk about that first half. How productive was your offense, or I guess more specifically, what do you have to change to get more offense in half number two?
Well, our receivers are rounding their cuts off a little bit. Our line's blocking not too badly. We don't have the running backs to run the ball, so we're trying to throw the ball. That's what we've been doing since we started the playoffs. We're almost there. We're just right there. If we get a little bit more open, we're going to try to mix some things up a little bit in the second half, but we got to stop their run, first of all. We can't get a punt block, and we can't let the big guy run the ball on us either. They're doing a great job, and we're going to come out and play.
Coach John Wangler, just what you mentioned there, you've done a couple different looks defensively against these guys. Is there anything else you can do to slow them up?
Well, we're going to try to pack it in a little bit more, but then you take the chance of them throwing the ball on you. But they're very physical, and the fullback is the guy inside, and then they got number 20 carrying the ball outside. So we're going to have to mix it up a little bit and come after them and try to slow them down.
All right, Rick, thanks. Good luck in our second half. And the Shamrocks with the lead. But again, the passing game for the Sterling Heights Stevenson Titans. If it gets hot, this game will get a lot more interesting as we move into our second half. The Shamrocks will get the football to start our third quarter in an automatic touchback. So no return. And I guess, John, this is a great situation. The Shamrocks starting with the football in this third quarter gives them a chance to kind of reestablish their tempo.
Well, you can see these guys have been darn near flawless on their possessions this first half, and they've controlled the ball. They've ate up the clock. They've done exactly what Coach Mack has wanted for their game plan. For Sterling Heights right now, this is a key possession defensively for them to set the tempo in the second half, to stop these guys and get the ball back to see if they can put some points on the board.
So Sam Landry back under center. No big changes certainly in this Shamrock offense, and they run on first down to about the 25. And Capitina's your carrier there. Charlie Walker makes the hit that ends that run.
As Coach said at halftime, Dan, you could look for these guys maybe to do a little blitzing, maybe to bring 10 guys up in to stop the run. They're going to try and shake it up a little bit. They got to make some plays. They got to be aggressive, take a couple gambles.
They give Capitina 4 yards. So they're at the 24, and there's Palizzetti, who gets ankle tackled, and a good one. Charlie Walker again keeps Palizzetti from taking that one outside.
One thing about Catholic Central's offense, they're always moving forward. They've had no plays today, Dan, of negative yardage.
They keep pushing, and when they push,
you see the big guy right here coming through, always going for positive yardage, always moving forward, north and south.
Palizzetti does not go down easily. Look at that rip on that shoulder pad there. That jersey's torn. And a lot of Stevenson defenders have to work extra hard to bring him down. Here's Palizzetti again. He'll push and stay on his feet to outside the 35. That is a muscle run by Nico Palizzetti. Connor Harvey finally took him out after a gain of 9.
That was a great call. They had a motion guy. They had Palizzetti taking a toss sweep to the left with a lead back, and he's just fighting his way. You give him a head of steam back there, let him get his shoulders squared, go north and south. He's a load.
He put his head down right into Charlie Walker and just blew right by him. So those are the right numbers for the Shamrocks here in this football game. Here's Capitina, who doesn't get any space and gets put down at about the 37. John Sulik, the linebacker. And the clock rolls. Remember, this is a 3-possession game right now for Sterling Heights Stevenson.
And they're certainly capable of scoring. It's just they've got to figure out Catholic Central's defense, and they got to get the ball. When they're on the sidelines, it doesn't do them any good.
And the Shamrocks with the football to start our second half. Rick Bye hoping that his defense can rally and give the football back to his offense here. Capitina on the play fake. Landry's got pressure coming. Now he'll scramble, and he'll just throw downfield. Incomplete. That play did not unfold well for Detroit Catholic Central, and Demetrius Hurd was the one who forced him out.
You got to credit Sam Landry on that play for even salvaging it, using great feet. They guessed real well right there, making a great move to escape some traffic, using a heady, that's a senior quarterback, getting rid of the football, not taking a sack, lining up to see another down.
And that's a great pressure from both ends by Stevenson.
Yeah, and they've switched to a 6-4 defense where they're trying to get their outside linebackers to pressure and contain with one safety and to stop that run.
So this is a 3rd and long now for Catholic Central. Landry with a quick drop, and the ball is tipped, almost picked. And Carl Davis is the one who got a hand up. And big thumbs up there by the defensive group for Sterling Heights Stevenson.
First time we've seen Catholic Central in their trips formation, just a 3-step drop. Davis doing a great job knocking that ball down, tipping it, almost coming up with an interception.
And 4th and 10. So the Titans answer the bell on defense. And Merschman is standing in his own 30 for the punt return for the Titans. Corey Smith on the punt. There's a good kick. Low line drive, but it's caught at the 30, and Merschman runs up to the 40. And man, did he get popped by Louis DePonio. A 33-yard punt and a 10-yard return. Our school profiles presented by Farmers Insurance. And again, Sterling Heights Stevenson. They've got two different schools in that area. There's two school systems that are served in that area. So a little bit of a confusion there. Two-time candidate Sterling Heights Stevens Titans. Again, have been to this game before, but still have yet to win a state title game. And our own Mario Mpemba, our Tigers play-by-play announcer, a Stevenson grad who is not here today. Should we mention what year he graduated? We'll let that one go. Out of courtesy to our partner Mario Mpemba, but certainly he is cheering on the Titans today, and a play that is whistled dead as soon as the ball is snapped.
Dan, that was a huge stop for the defense for Stevenson. I mean, they did exactly what they had to do.
Ball start on the offense. Down remains 1.
Well, that offensive infraction doesn't help as they move back 5 yards to midfield. And now they've got to go 15 yards.
Still starting with good field position. This
Absolutely.
has been one of the few times other than that first drive.
Can they capitalize on it? They got a field goal on their first offensive series. Now a long ball deep and caught inside the 10 by DJ Merschman. The first big passing play for the Titans is on their first throw in this second half.
Costa did a great job looking strong side to the field. He moved those safeties with his eyes, came back to the short side. All Merschman did was an up route, a go. Everyone was reading front side. Tremendous play.
41 yards, and they're inside the 10-yard line. First and goal at the 10. And let's see if the Titans can put big pressure on the Shamrocks with a score here. They'll run. There's Kinsey staying on his feet, down to about the 5. And Kinville on the stop. And again, Kirksey has been a little bit underutilized as a running back, but when they do run him, again, you see him playing with that right cast. They had him stopped.
Kirksey did a great job there, bouncing it out, keeping his feet moving, keep fighting for extra yardage, swinging that cast. Great effort there by Kirksey.
Well, that thing goes all the way up to his right elbow. And they're at the 5-yard line after a gain of 5 on first down. Now for Casa. Will scramble a bit. Ball is tipped, almost intercepted. Justin D'Agostino had a beat on that ball. Couldn't get it. Rob Marshall was the one who could not catch it for the Titans.
That time Catholic Central's in there, man coverage. Front side was good. He tried to come backside to his secondary receiver. A little more touch he needed on that pass. Very fortunate for Stevenson that ball wasn't picked off.
So another chance for the Titans. Again, we've already taken a pretty good chunk of clock off of our third quarter. And there's the handoff, and they try to push. This is Justice Wright inside the 5 to about the 3. Mike Kinville makes the stop. And a big decision now for this Sterling Heights Stevenson offense. 4th and goal, and they're setting out the field goal unit right now, and that doesn't sit well with all of the players. Justice Wright would like to get a shot in going in the end zone, but
I think it's a good call. Come away with some points. You had to stop defensively. Let's get the momentum. Let's not get shut out, and let's live to see another day.
David Brown 2 for 2 from this range during the season. There's the kick, and Sterling Heights Stevenson gets 3 more on the board. But still trailing in this Division I final to Detroit Catholic Central. We're back in a moment.
MHSAA football finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Farmers Insurance. To find an agent near you, call 1-800-FARMERS. And by The Green Panel, solar engineering and installation.
Welcome back to Ford Field. Everybody filing in here. We thought Mario Impemba was not coming, but it turns out he just kind of took a little different disguise and snuck in here. But our cameras, they'll find him. Oh, what? That's not Mario?
I love that hair color.
That's a good look for him. Maybe we'll see that when the Tigers start spring training in a few months. But for now, we've got Mario cheering. And Stevenson with a field goal to get a little bit closer in this football game. And there's a deep kick for no return. And Catholic Central will get their offense back on the field. Returning this year to Fox Sports Detroit is MHSAA Magazine, a seasonal recap of state finals competition, highlighting the team and individual champions in all sports. The fall edition of MHSAA Magazine premieres Saturday, December 19th at 6 p.m. exclusively on Fox Sports Detroit. And the Shamrocks, well, now a little bit of pressure on their offense.
It is. You know, they got defensive Sterling Heights got some confidence on that last drive, and we'll see if they can continue.
And Rick Bye likes what his defense has done the last quarter and change after a short gain on first down. Capatina on the run, but Corey Stone slows him and ends that run after a gain of maybe 1 yard.
They're getting a little penetration now, Dan. Before that first half, they were not getting any penetration. They're getting some penetration. Nice job, Stone.
So the challenge right now for the Shamrocks is to, you know, again, we heard from Tom Mack at the end of the first half, hey, if something's working, you don't change it. But now, depending on the adjustments that the Titans have made defensively, the Shamrocks may have to do a little bit of tweaking with Sam Landry here at quarterback. Two in the backfield. And they run up the middle with Landry trying to get outside. And maybe 2 yards. So a 3rd and long coming up now. Mark Kovalchik on the tackle, and well, the Shamrocks looked not quite as good as they were in the first half on the ground.
That was the first time we saw them in a shotgun, and they tried that little midline read and with the quarterback keep. And right now, Sterling Heights defense has done very well these last couple plays in that first drive. They're going to have to make some adjustments.
A big fan base for the Sterling Heights Stevenson Titans is out here full force. They want their defense to put another stop here on 3rd and long. And there's a run, and Palizzetti almost to the 30, but I think he's short. John Sulik, they only give him 6 yards.
Interesting thing, they're trying to spread them out these last two formations, but they still want to run the football. That was a huge stop for Sterling Heights, forcing them into a punting situation.
So it looks like 4th and 1. DJ Mershman set to return. And Catholic Central will roll out Corey Smith to punt. And again, another good field position opportunity for the Titans. Let's see how this kick goes from Corey Smith. Not much pressure, and man, he put the foot into that one and then some. And there's a bounce and no return. So the Shamrocks with a big play on special teams. The long punt takes away what would have been good field position. Here's Rick Bye, the head coach, talking about Jason Fracassa, his quarterback.
Jason is a great player, but he's also a tremendous leader. You know, you can be a leader and try to force the team to follow you, but in Jason's case, the team wants to follow him. He's really great with people, great with the first guy, and great with the 80th guy.
So a team player, and he's trying to spark this offense now in a wind-up and deep ball down the sideline. Caught as Mersma will get to the end zone, and the Titans strike big again. DJ Mershman getting the long touchdown from 75 yards out, and the Titans are heating things up here in the D1 final.
Well, that's what they do. They're a big play, big strike type offense. That time Jason did a nice job finding Mershman, again, getting behind the defenders. They actually recovered pretty well. He was reading it the whole way. Then he came back to the strong side. Merschman, they had 2 guys down there for Catholic Central. Merschman just got behind him. They bounced into each other and ends up with a huge play.
What a perfect throw. And DJ Merschman takes it the distance. And we talked about the big play combo between Fracassa and Merschman. And they are rejuvenated big time here in this third quarter against Catholic Central's Shamrocks.
We got ourselves a ball game.
And they're going to go for 2. And they line up with one in the backfield. Fracassa's going to throw. And there's your 2-point conversion complete to Marcus Barham. And the Shamrocks make it a 1-score game.
Nice play there by Sterling Heights. It was just a little pick play. And he did a nice job reading it, came open, and drove it in there.
In case you thought this game was going to be one-sided, we re-invite you to join the Stevenson comeback as the Shamrocks and the Titans continue here at Ford Field. Rick Bye making all the right moves. Whatever he told his team in the locker room, John, is working. He told us everything would have to get a little bit better. Our defense would have to step up. They've done it, and their offense is now clicking here in this second half.
That first defensive stop was so crucial, Dan. It set the tempo, got the momentum switched up a little bit. Then they come back and take it right down the field. You know, now we're into a football game, and it's going to be a great finish right here.
So we see the jersey of DJ Merschman is not wearing too well. He's losing a few letters, but he'll take that. He'll trade that for touchdowns. And the Shamrocks, now, John, there's pressure on Catholic Central. Their offense is going to have to help out their defense by taking some time off the clock and getting back to that first half form. And the ball bounces through the end zone. No return. The Shamrocks bring it back to the 20.
Well, really, right now, Stevenson's controlling the tempo, right? They're starting to make it into a track meet, a shootout. That's not Catholic Central's football. They got to slow it down, control the tempo. That's why they were up at halftime. Now you got the contrast of both styles battling each other for supremacy.
So the 1-2 punch of the CC running game with Capatina and Palizzetti has been relatively quiet here in this third quarter. And that's opened the door for the Titans to get back in this game. Here's Palizzetti running and pushing outside the 25. 5 yards on the first down run by Nico. Demetrius Hurd on the stop, and the sideline is a lot more enthused. And Jason Fracassa wants that defense to keep it up. Don't let off one bit.
No, he wants to get back on the field. They're starting to feel their confidence now. They know they can move the football.
And second and short now for the Shamrocks. And there's again Palizzetti, who gets to the 29. Charlie Walker coming up from that linebacker spot to make the stop. And it's third and short. And the Shamrock running attack today between Capatina and Palizzetti. Exactly what you would expect. Big numbers. And most importantly for CC, touchdowns.
CC's back in their 2 tight end offense. They're packing it in.
Third and short. They'll toss. Here's Capatina. Tries to get the end. Fumble. Ball is recovered by Capatina. Sorry, that was Palizzetti on the carry. And let's see where they marked that football. He was very close to the first down on the carry.
This was that same toss to Palizzetti that worked so well the first half. That time, great penetration there by Stevenson, forcing him to try and fight to get that extra yard just to get to the line of scrimmage.
Great job by Capatina to recover the fumble. The play is behind him. So's the football. He was able to turn around and cover it. And this measurement is going to be huge.
Walker made a great play there, forcing that fumble.
They're going to stretch it out, and we don't think he got it. And he's, wait a minute. We've got a good vantage point here, as you can see. Tom Mack moving in, and his offense does not have a first down. So decision time here. And CC, you know what the offense wants to do. They say, hey, come on, let's run, coach. Well, now, wait a minute.
It's a close one.
So they're going to mark it just outside the 30.
Think they don't have confidence in that offensive line? They can pick up an inch. Stevenson.
So here comes the big play call. The Shamrocks are going to turn it over to their offense on 4th and inches. And man, if you think Sterling Heights isn't going to bring it all on defense, Landry on the sneak. They pile him over, and there's a Shamrock first down. 3 yards on the carry.
Nice job by Landry sliding off there. On his initial surge, they stopped him, but he slid right off, kept his feet moving, leaning forward, picking up a huge, huge first down.
So the chains move. That is big.
Gutsy call, Dan.
Gutsy call. But you know what? You got to win a state championship, and if you don't trust your strength,
that's right. I like
you got to trust your strength. And the ball's at the 32-yard line on 1st and 10. And there's a play fake by Landry. He gets wrapped up and nailed for 0 yardage by David Brown. This is definitely a new look and improved Titan defense in this 3rd quarter, John.
They've switched into a 6-4. They got 6 down linemen. They got 4 linebackers. That play worked well twice in the first half. That time they were not fooled at all. Landry, again, doing a great job hiding the football, but watch them keep contained, string it out, force them to turn inside where all the pursuit and all the help is, do a great job gang tackling. Big play for the Sterling Heights defense.
Obviously, we don't see all of CC's playbook, John, but maybe a little misdirection might be coming if they continue to kind of struggle to produce in the running game here. And now Landry will play fake and throw deep down the middle and caught at the 45-yard line. What a great grab. Justin Messner went up to grab it. And a big throw for a 24-yard gain for the Shamrocks.
Those are the kind of passes Landry's hit all year. Messner made a nice job just running a vertical route. He got in front of the safeties, goes up and makes a huge catch, takes the hit. Now, this kid comes by it honestly, trust me. His father, Mike Messner, was a great All-American at the University of Michigan, and I know he's very proud of his son. Huge catch to get a first down for Catholic Central.
And you know, when CC has thrown the football, Sam Landry has a very good arm, so that's helping this offense. And here's Capatina in space, shakes off one guy, inside the 30, down to the 25. Anthony Capatina chased out finally by Connor Harvey, but there's a 20-yard get for number 20.
You are not going to tackle Anthony Capatina with an arm tackle. Watch him keep his feet moving, tried to grab him, position, slid off that block. Great play. That was just a little buck play with a lead block. Capatina keeping his feet, showing the great vision that he has and picking up another first down.
He grabbed his blocker's jersey, then somebody tried to grab Capatina's jersey. He shook that off and turned it into a big play there at the 25.
Heady runner.
And there's Palizzetti inside trying to bounce out. Gets 5 yards. Carl Davis on the stop. But look at how that one long pass play kind of opens up the offense again for CC.
Who would have thought that a pass play would open it up for Catholic Central? That time you talked about the misdirection a few plays earlier. They ran a little trap. Now they're bouncing off. They're picking up yardage in chunks now. They're starting to get Stevenson's on roller skates at defensive line. He was doing so well in the early part of this quarter. They're starting to get tired. They're moving them. Catholic Central's offensive line is wearing them down a little bit on this drive.
So CC's running game back to its first half form. 2nd and 5. Capatina in motion. Palizzetti, the short run, inside the 20. And Mason Hennigy on the tackle again. We knew the time of possession was totally in favor of CC in that first half. And we're looking at that clock now and the time consumption helping the Shamrocks. They are trying to hold off an 11-0 run on the scoreboard by Sterling Heights Stevenson. Still a touchdown lead after 3 quarters. Our Division I finals, a little bit more interesting now. A one-score game between CC and Stevenson. Everybody back in this football game. The Shamrocks are fired up, holding on to a 21-14 lead, but offensively it's been all Stevenson in our third quarter, and we now move to the fourth. Shamrock football inside the Titan 20. And here's Palizzetti banging Mershman on the tackle. 5 yards on the get. You know, DJ Mershman's been big in this second half offensively, but you wonder how he keeps his energy up trying to tackle Palizzetti all the time when he's on defense.
Well, it really has a cumulative effect, right? Trying to go both ways and battle this Catholic Central offensive line and their blockers and their backs. You know why these kids are in great condition. They're able to go both ways and not lose one step of energy on either side.
So they get the first down, and they're inside the 15 to the 12. Landry hands off. Palizzetti stays on his feet and goes inside the 10. 3 yards on the run.
Catholic Central's really happy to get 2-3 yards. Anytime they're getting inside the 50, they'll just keep pounding and grinding. They're methodical. Palizzetti never gets stopped by that first guy. Lowers his shoulder. They'll just keep grinding it out.
Injured Titan player on the field. That's Demetrius Hurd, the defensive end. He is a senior defensive lineman for this Titans team, and Rick Bye wants to come out and take a look at Hurd and make sure that he's not in too much discomfort. And you can see him put the it's a helmet to helmet hit.
Great to see him getting up.
So Demetrius is getting up on his feet, and looks to be like a bit of a stinger maybe, and coming off under his own power is always a huge situation here.
Whenever you see that, they'll be especially cautious, obviously, with those helmet-to-helmets. They don't want to take any chances.
So Hurd comes out. His backup on that defensive end is Jacob Katzak. And here's the drive that's puts Catholic Central inside the 10. And here's Capatina, turns it inside for a touchdown for the Shamrocks. Anthony Capatina, his second touchdown of the day. Nico Palizzetti helping out his buddy and getting him in the end zone.
Just coming out of that power eye, nothing fancy. And you can see how Capatina keeps his feet, takes a hit, makes a great cut inside there, bounces in there like a pinball, finds that end zone.
Anthony Capatina. Justin D'Agostino on for the point after, and he buries it, and the Shamrocks kicking up their heels on offense with an early fourth quarter touchdown, and they have doubled their lead on the Titans from Stevenson.
The MHSAA football finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by High School Game Officials, improving the quality of care for kids at the Children's Miracle Network hospitals across the state.
The third quarter was all Sterling Heights Stevenson, but Anthony Capatina says enough of that. The Shamrocks getting their ground game back in working order, and they've got a 2-touchdown lead now on the Titans. And Merschman on the return, but not for much. Make the MHSAA website your source for high school sports. The schedules and scores feature of the redesigned website includes all sports, and you can register to become a score reporter. Keep up with information about MHSAA tournaments and other services. Shop online and watch video all online at MHSAA.com. Well, that CC fan base.
They support their team. They always have. What a great tradition, great pride, great school.
And they're hoping for another state title, but let's see what Jason Fracassa can do. Here's a deep ball down the side, and it is picked off. The Shamrocks cover that ball extremely well. The secondary steps in, and Andrew Nelson on the takeaway for the CC defense, and a flag after the takeaway. Andrew Nelson, they were looking for Marcus Barham.
Dead ball, personal foul on the receiving team. Half the distance, first down.
So look at this rocket throw by Jason Fracassa, but the coverage was just too good deep, John.
Nelson did a great job. They were just playing man-free, and he just broke right on it. Great coverage, great play. That play was real similar to what they scored on before. He tried to look them off and move those safeties. That time they were not biting. Great defensive play, way to play your assignments and come up with a huge play.
You know, if that ball doesn't flutter, John, maybe it has just enough zip to get over Nelson's hands. But again, I'm not dissing the kid on the throw. I'm just saying that it wasn't just quite perfect.
Just a few yards short. He could have, you know, and sometimes that receiver ends up coming up and wrestling it out too. But big play to stop that drive for Stevenson.
Well, a turnover at the wrong time against a team that you don't want to give the football to on offense, and the Shamrocks call a timeout here to reconvene and game plan on offense. Catholic Central fired up. They can see the state title in their front rearview mirror. We're back with more in a moment. Jason Fracassa would love to be on the field now. Of course, his grandfather is Al Fracassa, the legendary Birmingham Brother Rice coach. But Al told me this week, John, that really his son Rick, Jason's dad, should get all the credit for his development as a quarterback. Capatina on the run out to about the 25-yard line, 8 yards on that run.
Yeah, I know Rick. I actually played against Rick in high school and in touch football. He's done a great job with Jason. Great athlete. He's a wonderful baseball player. Had an unbelievable career, and it's a great football family. He's got great bloodlines, and there's no surprise why he's such a tremendous player.
So they're at the 20, just shy of the 25-yard line, and second and short. And CC back in control now, and a good run for a first down as Palizzetti just keeps on swinging the hammer. An 8-yard run, and there's another first down, and that just puts more pressure on both the defense for the Titans and their offense when they do get back on the field.
Well, it really does, and this is not the team that you want to be behind on in the fourth quarter. Because they will grind you out. They're just going to try and grind meat, nothing fancy. Get an I formation and power it up there, pick up 2-3 yards, just try and move the chains.
Landry has thrown the ball well when called upon today, but Capatina will run this one and stay on his feet. Now he gets to midfield. Can he outrace the last tackler? Capatina still on his feet inside the 20, finally brought out of bounds by Connor Harvey. But Anthony Capatina getting this Shamrock crowd revved up with another almost touchdown run.
I can't tell you how impressed we've been with Capatina and Palizzetti. Watch him here. Nice little cut, keeping his feet in his balance, bouncing off. Here it is. Watch this move. Nice little fake with his head and shoulders, and then it's a foot race.
51 yards. And Just a very subtle move there.
Yeah, you got to watch his belly button because he's so elusive.
His last high school football game is certainly one that he will reflect on and be very happy about in years to come. And that run is a no-gainer. Palizzetti on the carry, but Corey Stone makes the hit.
Yeah, they went right back to that power I, Dan, and they're just going to pound it in there. Hopefully they can get a guy outside, make a break, and just eat up clock.
Inside 10 minutes. And as frustrated as Stevenson is being on the sidelines, their offense, they're a lot more frustrated that the clock just keeps on rolling. Again, they had rolled off 11 straight points coming out of the second half locker room until Catholic Central got their running game back in order for a touchdown. And this play is blown dead.
On the offense, 5 yards, repeat, second down.
So the game clock stops, which is of minor help to Rick By and his defensive unit. Remember, we talked in that second half, late in the second quarter and the third quarter, it looked like Stevenson's defense had kind of figured some things out and were starting to close those running lanes, but the long pass play got everything opened up again.
They were having a lot of success when they were going with a 5-man front or a 6-man front and having 5 linebackers or 4 linebackers with a free safety. Really committing everybody to the run. And as you said, that pass really broke their back and opened it up for Catholic Central.
They're at the 22-yard line. Palizzetti running and getting down to the 15.
Stevenson's defense, Dan, is starting to tire a little bit now. They've taken it pounding all afternoon long. All they're running now is straight dives and bucks, and they're starting to wear them down.
Look at those rushing numbers. One team passing, one team running the ball. I guess we know which team is doing what based on that graphic.
If you run like that, you're usually going to win the football game.
Against Stevenson, their running game depleted quite a bit due to injuries. But Jason Fracas's passing has carried them until now. And there's the handoff to Palizzetti, who gets stacked up and maybe a loss of 1 yard. Tyler Messiger is the tackler along with Kyle Kimball.
Messiger did a nice job. They tried to trap him that time, and he fought it off and was able to stop him for no gain.
So it is time for the Shamrocks to try to kick a field goal, and Justin D'Agostino, not an especially long kick. Kick is down, the kick is up, and it is good. And the Shamrocks get 3 more points. They're all big when you're in the fourth quarter of a state championship game.
That was huge, Dan, because now it is a 3-possession game, and time is not going to be on the side of the Sterling Heights Stevenson.
Well, we mentioned this is the last weekend of high school football. State championship weekend. He had the early game today, a little bit more one-sided, with Traverse City St. Francis getting back-to-back titles as they knocked out Hudson. But coming up, the Division 5 final, Clare against Jackson Lumen Christi, and then tonight the nightcap, Orchard Lake St. Mary's against East Grand Rapids. That'll be on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Great venue for all these teams as we look at the scoring drive. Tom Mack. Another state title is not far off for his Shamrocks. Mershman and Marcus Barham set deep to return, standing inside their own 20. And Mershman will bring it up and stay on his feet to about the 35. So a spirited return. Andrew Erickson is the tackler. And every time we see the back of Mershman's jersey, he loses a letter or two.
he's had a full day. He's made some great plays. You know, he's taken a lot of hits. He's out there fighting. They're going to do everything they can to put some points up quick so they can get back in this game.
You can see the passing numbers for Jason Fracassa a lot better in this second half. But again, that interception was huge, giving the football back to the Shamrocks. He'll wind up and throw deep and caught at about the 45-yard line as he goes to Justice Wright.
One thing that Jason can do, he can buy time with his feet. You watch him, he's got a little pressure, he's moving, keeping his feet, eyes downfield, delivers a strike. Great pass catch combination. What Catholic Central's doing, they're keeping him in front. They're in a two-deep zone. They're not going to give up the big play, make them beat him underneath.
And the Titans have to remember, they don't have to get it all in one play. There's a deep throw and thrown in the vicinity of Marcus Barham, but couldn't get it. And again, Fracassa's got a strong arm. We can see that. But again, at least the incompletion stopped the game clock, which is another X factor that Stevenson will have to try to manage in this fourth quarter.
Jason's going to be throwing through a picket fence now, Dan. They got the two safeties on the hashes, and they got four guys underneath coverage. So it's difficult for a quarterback. He's got to be aware of everybody.
And there's a completion to Merschman, and after the catch, he gets a little bit inside the 30 for a gain of 13 yards.
It's a great route against that defense. Just a deep out, deep turnout. Jason and Merschman have done this all season long. Throws it on rhythm, catches him on the break. It's a safe route because if he doesn't catch it, he'll go out of bounds. Picks up 8-10 yards. Nice football play.
The Shamrocks keep him in bounds. And it's first down, and they'll pump fake and go in the end zone, and the turn, and that ball almost picked off. That's Andrew Nelson again. He had the big pick earlier, intended for Marcus Barham. And Barham was pretty close to catching that football, John. That was well thrown.
Very close. Just running a corner route. Nelson wasn't fooled at all. He was back deep on the hash. Jason pumps once, tries to get it to him in the corner of the end zone, breaks off the pass, almost intercepted, does a nice break falling back into that pass.
So we're under 6 minutes left. Jason Fracassa, there's pressure coming, he'll unload. And that ball almost picked off. He was trying to just get rid of it. Instead, Tom Voutsos was the one that came over to almost take that away. When you want to throw that ball away, you really got to throw it away.
Make sure you throw it away. Merschman was pointing, he wanted interference on that play, but the referees were not going to acknowledge that.
So here's a big 3rd and 10 coming up. It's obviously 4-down territory now. A 3-score game for the Sterling Heights Stevenson Titans. Fracassa, now pressure coming from the blind side. He'll throw, caught in the middle as Barham gets it, and a first down at the 5-yard line. 24-yard pickup, and man, that will be a big get for Stevenson.
Barham did a great job. When that pressure came, he kept moving. Jason bought some time, and he got behind the linebackers. Nice job finding the open area, going up high and making that catch. Jason did a great job with his feet. Barham did a good job finding an open area under pressure.
First and goal in the end zone. And the receiver goes down. That was Merschman who got bumped. The flag comes out. And I think the Shamrocks secondary, Nelson and Ben Diaz, are going to get called for the penalty.
They run a little pick up top here. Got the interference call.
Well, it wasn't those two. You saw on the screen earlier that he got tripped, more or less.
Defensive pass interference. Automatic first down.
So basically it gives Stevenson a new play. And Tom Mack knows that the door's not shut yet. Not with the way Jason Fracassa and the Titans can score. Inside the 5. And there's a flag and a handoff, and the ball goes to the 1-yard line, fumbled into the end zone, but this is all probably coming back.
Illegal motion on the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That was the first time, Dan, we saw their pistol formation. There were two guys in motion. You can see right here and there. And that's what got him.
So we'll see if Jason Fracassa, you know, Jason has shown a lack of propensity, if you will, to run the football. But you could see here if he can maybe spread everybody out and try to find a running lane, see if he'll sneak in instead of trying to throw. He'll fire it, and caught inside the 5 by Dylan Cooper, the tight end. But he can't get anything after the catch because Justin D'Agostina, sorry, is the tackler there.
Just a little out route there. Nice defense, good football play. This would be a great time for a quarterback draw. They're in man coverage, and as you said, he hasn't run much at all. They have to have a guy on him, and I'm not so sure they got a guy spying him because they're not worried about him running the football.
Now they kept him in bounds. That keeps the game clock running. 2nd and goal. And Fracassa looking at pressure. They throw in the corner. There's a touchdown catch. And Justice White on the grab for Stevenson. Man, that ball was thrown exactly where it needed to go. And the official was right there to get the arms up. And Sterling Heights Stevenson not going away quietly in this D1 final.
Just a little pick play there. You couldn't see it on your screen. Wright does an unbelievable job getting his hands underneath the football, concentrating and coming up with that catch.
Oh, the official was right there looking at it.
That was the only place that he could have put that football.
Well, that's close, John. I see all arm under that ball, though. Extra point is up. And it is good. And still a 2-score game, but Sterling Heights Stevenson's Titans, they were down 18 at the half, and they've kind of counterpunched with Catholic Central in this second half. Do they have enough to make a move and maybe get even closer in this football game? This is what Rick Bye told us at halftime about his team improving in this second half.
Well, our receivers are rounding their cuts off a little bit. Our line's blocking not too badly. We don't have the running backs to run the ball, so we're trying to throw the ball. That's what we've been doing since we started the playoffs. We're almost there. We're just right there. If we get a little bit more open, we're going to try to mix some things up a little bit in the second half.
Well, they are almost there. The problem is they're down 2 scores with 4 minutes and 19 seconds left, but they keep not quitting.
No, there's no quitting these guys. And I'll tell you right now, they end up with an onside kick here. They get another shot. This game is far from over.
So we'll see if the special teams can create something here for the Titans. And the Shamrocks are ready for a onside kick. John Savakis is the guy standing deep, but he's all by himself at the 20. And let's see what transpires. Katzak trying to get the Titans fired up for this special teams opportunity. And they will kick it deep. So they line up for the onside and then boot it away. So Jason Fracassa with some big second half plays to keep Sterling Heights in this football game, John.
Well, Jason's a gamer. He's one of the greatest competitors on that football team. There's no quitting him. You can see he's made 3 huge plays this second half. They're going to fight to the end. Him and Merschman have been here before. They've had close games. They won a great barn burner last week. These guys are not going to quit. They're going to make plays, and they're going to make plays till the whistle ends.
You can see his poise and confidence in his receivers. Again, Jason Fracassa, you don't see him there, but those numbers are awfully good. And here's CC turning again to their ground game. Palazetti, Corey Stone makes the stop, but it's the CC ground game that could put this game out of reach now with a time-consuming drive, John.
Well, they got to get the football. They got to tackle the football. They got to force a fumble or a turnover. They need to get it back in a hurry.
We haven't singled out too many guys on that front 5 for Catholic Central's offensive line, but they have been tremendous. leading the way and opening those holes for Capatina and Palizzetti. They bunch up, and Palizzetti just powers in and gets about 5 more out to the 30. Charlie Walker on the tackle, but the clock stops. Stevenson is going to take a timeout here. We're going to see if the officials, yeah, they did take one. And Rick Bye knows that he's got to handle this Shamrock defense now and get the offense back on the field. The broadcast of this game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Fox Sports Detroit. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the images, descriptions, or accounts of this game may take place without express written consent.
Well, this third down is critical.
And he got so close to that first down, so it's 3rd and about 1. Problem is, one of many problems right now for the Titans, I should say, is turnovers. Catholic Central just doesn't make them. They take care of the football.
They've had a couple balls squirt loose, but they've been after the whistle or they've been able to recover. So it's not like it's never happened, but you're right. They're not a mistake football team. They don't turn the ball over a lot, and fortunately for them, but they definitely need a turnover if you're a Sterling Heights Stevenson Titan.
And you can see that the Shamrocks have delivered on those 3rd down conversions, especially when it's short yardage. And Landry will punch it over. And he looks like he's got a first down for CC.
Same play last time. He likes sliding to that left side, following his center and his left guard. There he is, putting his head down, keeping his feet driving, keeping this drive alive.
You know, there's a lineman, you saw him at the bottom of the pile, Tom Boutsos. He's on the ground on his knees, and he's still just pushing himself forward to create some blocking. There is no quit in this Shamrocks football team.
No, those guys, they've been working all season long. They got a great group of seniors. They worked in the offseason. This is a close-knit bunch. These guys want to win a championship.
And whistles before the snap.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. Down remains first.
So a little jump here on the right side.
Little flinch.
Just enough to push the Shamrocks 5 yards in the wrong direction. And the clock now restarts with 3 minutes in our football game. And the Shamrocks getting back to their running ways in the 4th quarter. And there's the handoff. Capatina at the 30, stays on his feet to the 40, still trying to go. He's down at the 45. Charlie Walker finally took him down. 20-yard run for Anthony Capatina.
Well, that's the problem. When you start committing everybody to the run, you can pop a seam, because they got to gamble now. Capatina breaks the seam, and he's off to the races. Great blocking there on the left side again. Capatina keeping his feet, picking up a first down.
He has been fired up from the opening kick. Playing his last game as a Shamrock. Look at that average. Almost 10 yards per run and 2 touchdowns. And there's hardware in about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And there's Palizzetti on the run.
These guys are feeling it, Dan.
John Sulik on the stop. And we saw an improved Titan defense in that 3rd quarter. They got the Shamrocks off the field, but they get worn down here late in this football game, and they are not in control of their own destiny right now. And Stevenson has gotten to these championship games before, but looks like they're going to have to try to come back next year, because it's not going to happen for them in 2009. Landry on the handoff, and Palizzetti will get nothing, and he runs right into Carl Davis. And Sterling Heights Stevenson does have 2 timeouts. Now they'll take one. And the faces on the sidelines say it all for Sterling Heights Stevenson. Here's what's coming up tonight. We've got Wings hockey. They're looking to get their offense back in order against the Blues in St. Louis. That's coming at 7:30. 2 football games tonight with the East Grand Rapids, the one game tonight, East Grand Rapids versus Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Watch that on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. That's a 7:30 kick here at Ford Field as well. So we finished the high school football season tonight. And Orchard Lake St. Mary's, that'll be a good one. The Shamrocks are going to have a big celebration here in a little bit.
And they got great tradition there. They've been here before. They can smell this 10th ring.
And Sterling Heights Stevenson, again, Jason Fracasa's high school career coming to a close. And what a career it has been. And again, he's got a bright future as a baseball player too. So he's not a one sport athlete.
He's going to have a lot of opportunities in college. He's going to be a great player at next level. He's been fun to watch. What a great career.
Fumbled snap, and Sam Landry jumps on it. And you see Jason there, and there's the numbers for Jason today. A lot of big hits on offense in the second half of this game. And again, look at the long completions as he wanted to really put pressure on that CC secondary.
Well, he also, Dan, you know, he took a lot of hits after he threw the football. He hung in there. He's a tough kid. You know, he threw the ball downfield. They were not shy. They went after it, and they did everything they could to try to put some points up on the board. So there's no shame. This Catholic Central defense is as good as I've seen in high school football. You come in here with 8 shutouts over the course of the season and playing the schedule that they did, he doesn't get much better than this Catholic Central defense.
And Fracassa will stay loose on the sideline. But the Stevenson Titans are out of timeouts now. And a tremendous season of football for Catholic Central. We told you about their 3-year run as state champions early in this decade, but they've been out of the picture for the most part since 2004. That was a 4-5 season. But they are going to be back on the top of the Division I mountain. They're punting here. And a pretty good boot. Punt at the 20 on the run by Merschman, who stays up and runs out and is forced out at the 35-yard line. So now CC will turn to their defense. And here is what has transpired already. The one game already final, of course, from this morning. All Traverse City St. Francis as they get back-to-back titles with a win over Hudson. And the Division 5 final, not far off. And then the Division 3 final is the nightcap. Come back in 1 hour for that Division 5 final between Clare and Jackson, Lumen Christie. They throw short and to Justice Wright, but that's not the throw Fracassa wanted. And it stops the game clock with a minute left.
Now this is tough. Everybody knows you're going to throw the football. They're back in almost a prevent type with 2 deep, and that defensive line is just pinning their ears back. You got to give that credit to the defensive line of Catholic Central. They applied tremendous pressure to Jason Fracassa without really blitzing. They just used some twist games in there, and they really kept him under extreme pressure all afternoon, and that secondary and linebackers did a great job in coverage.
And also kudos to the CC coaching staff. Stevenson coming into this game as we watch this flea flicker here. Fracassa will wind up, throw it deep, home run ball down the middle, and it is incomplete, almost picked off. Marcus Barham, the intended receiver, Ben Diaz on the coverage. To go back, CC's coaching staff knew that the passing game for Stevenson was going to be so important, and they haven't game plan against a team like this year. They basically had to change a lot of things defensively, and a lot of teams thought Stevenson had the advantage coming into this game. It turned out that the Shamrocks defense was up to the challenge.
It's tough to bet against Tom Mack when he has time to prepare. He's been doing it a lot of years. They got a great defensive scheme, and they run it to perfection.
Fracassa throwing short, complete, and Dylan Cooper on the catch. They get a little bit, 4 yards, and the game clock winding down, and Stevenson can't do anything about it. Catholic Central, maybe our last play of this football game on 4th down. They complete on the sideline to Merschman, who catches it out of bounds. And a flag after the throw, and maybe a late hit on Jason Fracassa.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense.
Penalty flag.
So the Shamrocks will keep their defense on the field after this penalty and the completion.
The 15-yard penalty.
So they get 15 yards, and Jason Fracassa emotional after the hit, and it keeps the Titans offense on the field. Fracassa deep and intercepted at the 20-yard line, and the Shamrocks defense, Mike Kinville on the takeaway, and with 14 seconds, the Shamrocks know what's coming. A D1 championship.
Kinville's been all over the field today. Another great play to end that season for Sterling Heights.
And a flag after the play at just about where the ball was intercepted. Well, Fracassa's had to be aggressive about
Unsportsmanlike here.
throwing the football today. And unsportsmanlike conduct on DJ Merschman on Stevenson. And again, the frustration spilling over. And Shamrocks will get the ball on offense to end this football game with 10 seconds left. The Shamrocks from Detroit Catholic Central, back with a Division I championship. They are in double digits, and a tremendous football game. The Shamrocks, their running game was excellent, John Wangler, and their defense handling Jason Fracassa to the tune of a 10-point win.
They followed the script perfectly, Dan. They did exactly what they did: possess the football, eat up the clock, play stifling defense, shut down that offense. They couldn't have drawn it up any better. You know what's interesting, too? This is their first championship when they've moved to Novi. Their first championship for Catholic Central. They moved from Novi. You know, they're back on track.
The CC celebration is underway. We'll come back with some celebration for the Shamrocks from Detroit Catholic Central in just a moment. Catholic Central had 8 shutouts on the season coming into this game, John Wangler. They didn't get that today, but they got the big prize, and that's what they really wanted.
They played it to perfection. They made them try to throw deep. did an unbelievable job defending them. They put pressure with that defensive line. Secondary played their assignments. That's about as good a defense as you're ever going to see against a team like Sterling Heights Stevenson.
And their running game was tremendous, and the state championship goes to Catholic Central. Our next game, the Division 5 title game, Jackson Lumen Christi against Clare, starting at 4:30. It's on Fox Sports Detroit or on the web at the all-new foxsportsdetroit.com. For John Wangler, I'm Dan Gutowski. Catholic Central, a win over Stevenson. Goodbye for now from Ford Field.